Afghanistan is indeed in need of humanitarian aid. We're now joined by CEO of Afghanistan International Strategic Studies Center, Dr. Hatef Mokhtar. So thank you so much for joining me here today on A News. Always a pleasure. So I'd like to get straight into this, if you don't mind. Now, the United Nations have pledged, the word is pledged, 1 billion euros. When you heard this, what did you think? Do you think, good, thank God, people are going to be helping Afghanistan now? Or do you think there's going to be some kind of conditions attached to it?
We will see to this pledge. The U.S. strategy totally failed in Afghanistan. They destroy Afghanistan, they destroy mosques, they destroy communities, they're bombing so many crimes which committed in Afghanistan by the U.S. Army. Before everything, they respond to the crime. I'm not sure about this pledge, what they say, but before everything, they should recognize the Taliban government, which is based on their values. We shape a government which is called Amarat-e-Islami Afghanistan, and this is our right. And this is the time which we should respect our differences. Our society is different, our culture is different, our belief is different. I believe U.S. must respect to the human rights values. And if you see all the human rights articles, the 30 article of human rights is violated by the U.S. government, and the Biden administration failed in Afghanistan. So I am not sure what this pledge will happen. Before everything, Afghan need to deal with Afghan people with a dignified level. We are a nation, a life nation, which have longer history than U.S., which have longer history than so many European countries. Let me respect the time is different, and we respect each other. And that's the time that we respect our nation based on human rights values and humanitarian level. Yes.
Okay, sir. That's very well said, and you're absolutely right. I mean, what the U.S. did in Afghanistan in those 20 years was certainly not acceptable. However, moving forward, we need to look at the people, some 40 million people that live in Afghanistan who are in dire need of food and shelter. Some have been displaced, some have been evacuated, some people want to leave. I remember I saw one of your posts on Twitter. You said the flights from outside of Afghanistan have gone up 10 times. But the people need the money. I mean, but don't you think they need the help right now, and we should forget politics aside and just help the people?
I think before everything, U.S. and the international community must recognize the Afghanistan government and release the Afghan asset which blocked by the U.S. The crisis which we see in Afghanistan, humanitarian crisis. Yesterday, 3 children died in the south of Afghanistan because of lack of the food and vegetable. That crime, behind of this crime, international community is responsible. Why did they took and block the Afghan asset? There is a system which functioning by Islamic belief. We don't have a right that we have to continue our country, and they should respect our nation based on our respect. The other thing, let me clarify here, U.S. is responsible, which is the humanitarian condition, this dire condition which we observe in Afghanistan. Before everything, before this pledge, please release the Afghanistan asset which is banned by the U.S. The Joe Biden administration is failed in Afghanistan. We don't want them to interfere in our condition. We are a free nation.
Sir, these frozen assets, where are they?
They banned it by the U.S. administration. There is no banking function in Afghanistan. We are in a very dire situation. If you read about the Afghan current situation, behind everything there is a U.S. responsible. U.S. must respect to the human rights. U.S. must respect which they claim about the human right, which the values they write in their books, but we cannot see it in Afghanistan. Thousands are died and killed and murdered by U.S. intervention in Afghanistan. We don't want any occupier and big boss come and lead us. We are a free nation and we have a right to shape our government based on our values and based on our tradition and respect human rights and respect international and human rights.
Okay, but I think the US and the United Nations want the same thing too. I'm guessing you're saying is you don't want to be governed by their rules. You don't want to be given these ultimatums. Is that what you're saying?
Tell me one thing in the region which is committed in a positive way by UN. If there is any resolution of UN work in Iraq, there any resolution of UN work in Libya, who destroyed the Muslim country? Why they destroy the Muslim country? Who gave them permission to come in our region and they play the big boss? I don't believe the UN played a positive role, especially in our region. If the UN played a positive role in the region, first we must ask thousands Afghan killed by the bombing, and they used the mother of bomb in Afghanistan. Who is responsible of this? This is democracy. The democracy come overnight in Europe. Who is responsible behind of those all crime which committed in Afghanistan? It is better that we respect each other differences in this particular time. That will be better for US. Afghanistan want a good relation with all communities, with all religions, with the Western civilization. But we do not forget Islam is a civilization in this region. They must respect our belief in our faith if they want to continue as a brotherly and human relation in the region.
Okay, so sir, I agree with you. You're right. Every country has a right to rule themselves. Very well said. My question is here, though, at this stage, with this money that's blocked, you're right, there are assets that are blocked of Afghanistan. If those assets are released, are you saying that because you don't believe in the UN, you don't need the UN's humanitarian aid of 1 billion euros?
It is not matter of the belief. It is the matter of fact. We have seen the UN policy in the region and the United Nations resolution in the region. We have common sense. We have a right to analyze in freedom of expression, telling us according Article 19, we have a right to express ourselves. We believe there is an institution which leading by US we call the UN. But did this UN act positively, effectively in our region? We can say no. This is one. The secondly, in that dire situation of Afghanistan, if they release the money of Afghanistan, it will be helpful for our people, it will be helpful for our communities. The Taliban is not more problematic groups. It's an Afghan group. We are using different clothes, we are different culture, and there will be coming, inshallah, soon good government with all Uzbek, Turkmen, Tajik, Hazara, all our brother. And we are same people. We believe in equal rights, human right, and Islamic right, which is our political rights. Everyone, according to United Nations Article 1, 2, 3, 4, everyone have a right to shape their government based on their belief and their culture.